Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today we're going to be putting some side markers on the fretboard of this neck. I'm working on my hollow body electric guitar that I built by hand. It never had side dot markers that I was satisfied with, so I'm going to go ahead and show you a method that I've come up with that I think that is very effective and very cool. We're going to be using just common brads, just little nails. I'll put a close-up of the exact nail that I'm using up on the screen over here. And what I've done is I've just used a pair of clips, nail clips, to snip the nails into short sections, but long enough so that you can actually work with them. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill holes in the side, which I already have marked here, and then we're going to super glue in a section of the nail. Then we'll go through and trim them and sand them flat. So I thought I already have one of my holes drilled here. I'll go ahead and get my super glue, and we're going to go ahead and install one of these bits of nail, and then I'll do the rest of it off camera, sand it, and we'll come back and take a look. I'll actually probably pause though, do a little brief video of snipping all the ends off, just to kind of show how to do that, because we'll be using a different set of snippers. We'll be using actually these fret snippers, because they'll get the nails nice and flush with the fretboard. All right, well, so I have my little pieces of nail here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pre-drilled hole. I'm going to put super glue in, make sure I get plenty in there. We're going to have to, sand all this out, so we can be generous with the glue. And then we insert our nail, and if you can see that, hopefully, I've got a nail sticking out of my neck. And so what I will do is wash, rinse, repeat. Go ahead, drill all the holes for all of my markers, and insert the nails with super glue. All right, so I'll be right back in a moment. We'll go ahead and snip all of them, and then sand them out, and we'll take a look. All right, see you now. All right, so I have all of my nails glued in here on the side. You can see it from that angle, and I'll show them like that. I also took a picture I'll put up on the screen, kind of show you where we're at. And now what I'm going to do is use basically a fret end cutting file. I also use this fret end cutting tool to snip the edges of the nails off. This also is what I use to cut frets too, just to cut them to length. So anyway, we're going to go through and we're going to snip these and see what we're left with here. Alright, easy peasy, and we just snip them all. And we're using this particular tool because we want to get as close in as we can. That one decided it didn't want to come back out. Clean that up in a minute, and we'll just snip them all, and we'll take a look at our result. All right, so now we have our markers in. They've been rough trimmed, and then now I'll just do one real quick on camera. I've got some 220 grit sandpaper here on a little sanding block, and we'll just sand the edge of that nail to get it flush with the fretboard, with the fingerboard, fretboard. We'll see how long that takes. It'll take a second to do. And we just sand that until we get it flush, and we should have a good looking, we're almost there already, a really good looking fret marker. And there we go. Yeah, that looks fantastic. I'll take some close-ups of this, throw them up here. But this is super easy, and it's using a household item that you'd have laying around. You can go buy a bunch of nails, and just putting those in, it's nice to have, the silver side markers. They're metal, makes it look high-end, even though you're using, basically the lowest end of materials. So anyway, I hope that this video is inspiring to somebody else who decides they want to use some oddball or common household items to do some inlay work on their guitar. All right. You take care, hit subscribe, likes and shares are also greatly appreciated, and leave something in the comments. All right, you take care, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.